Beat the drum and paddle, paddle, paddle. It's almost time for Dragonheart, Vermont. Today we're talking about this annual tradition, what drives these paddlers, and how you can join to support a great cause. Good afternoon and welcome to Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. One of the premier summer events in Burlington is the Lake Champlain Dragonboat Festival. What began as an event for survivors of breast cancer has become so much more. With over 200 members who make up 10 different teams, Dragonheart Vermont teams have been named national and world champs in dragonboat racing. And joining me to talk about Dragonheart Vermont are Vicki Drew and Ruth Thomas Squire. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
We're happy to have you. And first I want to ask both of you how you got involved. Ruth, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Sorry.
When I was going through breast cancer treatment, I was giving a pamphlet about, and that was back in 2007, I was given a pamphlet about Dragonheart. And so in 2008, after I finished treatment, my husband and I both volunteered at the festival. I fell in love with it at that time, and I joined in the fall of 2008.
Absolutely.
And I've done it ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. And what a run it's been.
Yes, it has. It's been an immense amount of work and satisfaction.
Sure, absolutely. And for you?
Well, similar journey. I'm also a breast cancer survivor, and I was diagnosed in 2017. And it was actually one of my daughter's high school teachers that found out that I loved to kayak and that I was a breast cancer survivor and said, you need to come join Dragonheart Vermont, and she would not let it go. And so she's one of our fellow members now, and so that's how I joined in 2019, and I just, like Ruth, fell in love with it. So.
Yeah, and you've both got incredible stories of how you've been involved with the process. So Ruth, why don't you tell me how it's improved your life?
Just start with my physical strength is better than it was, more confidence in what I was doing. And I know that harbor better than most people ever thought of knowing. And I've met lifelong friends. So you have that whole feeling of being empowering and work and getting physically strong, along with camaraderie of everyone that you meet.
Sure. And we talk about the camaraderie. You guys have been racing together for a long time. So Vicki, has it had the same impact on you?
Absolutely. I think what draws me to the sport more than anything is the fact that I get to be with this amazing group of women on the water in this beautiful place of Burlington Harbor 2 nights a week, all summer long. And sometimes when you're tired or you've been busy in the garden all day, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I really want to go down to practice. The minute I get down there, all of that's gone, and you're out on the water, and it's just like this feeling of just peace and tranquility, and that life is good.
Yeah, that's incredible. And do you have to, you were both cancer survivors, so do you have to be in order to participate?
No, you do not. We have actually more supporters. And the supporters are they believe in our mission, or they've had cancer within their family, or they themselves may be another type of cancer survivor. So they are, many of our members are actually supporters who they paddle in their own boats, but for the BCS or breast cancer survivors, we have 2 boats that we try to fill every time to go out, and we relish the fact cancer is not what we talk about. It combines all of us, but it doesn't define us.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you've both been competing for a little while as well, and so we talked a little bit about what racing means to you, but how does the spirit of competition change things?
Well, you know, I joined more for the camaraderie than the racing, so I have to say that when we get out on the water and we are racing and we win, it feels great. When we lose, not so great, but I'm still hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's great.
Ruth, on the other hand, has competed internationally, and I've been to 1 international race, but it was really more of a team spirit camaraderie thing for breast cancer survivors, but she's competed more on the international stage.
I had the luxury of paddling with a team. We came in 5th in the world in our age division. Vermont shouldn't even be ranking, because we are only on the water for 5 months every other year. We're paddling against teams that are out there year round. You get there, you hear the horns go off, and you have adrenaline that pumps through your system that you don't remember those first 100 strokes. You're going, because you've practiced so much that it's muscle memory at that point. And it's unlike anything else. You have more power, and when the coach yells, you get a 5th gear that you never knew you had.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's unlike anything else I've ever done. And because I never competed in any sports. I didn't think I was sports oriented. and finding that I'm a lot more competitive than I ever thought I was.
Yeah, a great way to express it too. And you
Yes.
said Vermont really shouldn't be ranking compared to other states. So why do you think they are? Is it some Green Mountain grit?
Oh, well, there's a little of that, and we train in the winter months. We, especially now, our head coach is a personal trainer, and he will work out you because of injuries or whatever. You can't do this type of exercise. Well, we'll come up with something that you can. The goal is to build you to the best that you can be. So, and it deals with the whole concept of dragon boating with breast cancer. If you stay active, if you stay physically strong, you have a lower chance of having a reoccurrence. Not to say you won't, but you lower your chances of it, and that's been proven.
Yeah, that's incredible and definitely an added benefit to
Yes.
participating. And Vicki, you said that you were interested in kayaking before, so do you think this is kind of a natural transition, or are there some pretty stark differences?
There are stark differences, not only in the technique and how you paddle. It's also, when I go out to kayak, I go out to enjoy nature and just the views and, you know, be on the water and often with my family. That's not the case in Dragonheart. It is fun, you know, there's a lot of energy, but when we're racing, we're moving.
Sure.
And that boat only moves as fast as the slowest paddler. And we have to stay in sync.
Sure. And so you said it's a little bit about the workout, but the camaraderie is also a really big part of that,
Yes.
right? Being all together?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And we are like a family. We take care of each other off the water as well. If somebody's going through a hard time or a reoccurrence, we're there to support them.
Sure.
You know, and an injury in a family, we'll do meal trains, we'll do other things. It's just, we celebrate each other's joys, and we are there to help comfort during times of sorrow. So the idea, it's like you have lifelong friends that you never would have normally in life have had anything to do with each other. And so, like Vicki and myself, our chances of meeting in the outside world never probably would have happened.
Yeah, right.
But now we know each other, we're there for each other, so we would have, and that with all of our teams are like that. And we crossed teams, and we'll paddle on different teams with a different coach, which is always good to do because you get something out of everybody.
Yeah, that's incredible. And we've talked up dragon boat racing a lot. So let's talk a little bit about the festival. Is this an opportunity for people who maybe haven't tried their hand at it before?
Absolutely. So if they're interested, if somebody is interested in coming to the festival, first and foremost, you can always come, and it's free. We don't charge admission. But what we'd really love is to have you form a team and have members of your family, your community, businesses, church groups, whatever, form a community team to come out and paddle on festival day. It's a fundraising event for Dragonheart, Vermont, and our annual, what we call pledge partner, and this year it's Sail Beyond Cancer. And so the funds raised will be split between those organizations, and it goes to support cancer survivors and their supporters in our community.
And something that you both talked about a little bit is that this isn't only an opportunity to try something new and get to meet a bunch of friends and lifelong friends from the sounds of it, but it's also a chance to raise awareness. Is that right?
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is that breast cancer doesn't define your life.
Sure.
We keep going, and we're thriving in our survival.
Yes, that's incredible. And if I want to set up a community team, how many of my friends do I have to convince to get a little wet?
16 paddlers plus somebody to be a drummer, which is usually a tinier person that sits on the front beating the cadence. And if you don't have 16, we can join together others. So it's just a great day on the waterfront.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because this is among the second year that we've done the free agent.
Third year, I think, where we have people just sign up to paddle. They may not have a group that they want to paddle with, and we'll put you on a team.
Sure, maybe make some lifelong friends.
Absolutely.
You know, and I, with the breast cancer teams, the year we went to Florence, Italy, I paddled on a composite team. And it was so much fun because we had 2 women from Wisconsin, we had a woman from Indiana, and then we had a bunch of Dragonhearters and some people from Florida. We all still correspond. And that was something I never would have, again, people I wouldn't have met, but we all have something in common. And for composite teams, it's always a great way to meet new people. So we want to, don't feel you are held back because you don't have
16 of your closest friends.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And as she said, the drummer position, that's what holds the cadence, because at the back of the boat, it's sometimes difficult, to, especially with a community team, to see to the front. So the drum you can all hear and that you can paddle with, because you're only as good as that slowest paddler. So I've seen teams that were not fast paddlers, but won because they stayed together. So that's the difference between other sports.
Sure. And it's not just the racing, which is more than enough to attend, but you guys have some other events as well, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a whole section of kids' activities. There's often a sand table, there's music and a beer tent, and just a great atmosphere overall. The biggest thing is all of the teams dress up, and there's costumes, and we have dancing dragon going through, puppet going through the festival. We have mascots that come down and help entertain the kids, a water play area. So yeah, just a great family experience.
Sure. Then we've talked oh, go ahead.
And I was going to say, many of the teams take the decorating because they know we do prizes for the best decorated drummer, the team that has the best festival costumes, and they decorate their encampment, and they take that all really seriously, and they're there, win or lose doesn't matter to them. They're there to support our mission. So the idea of having fitness and teamwork and community, they believe in that.
Sure. And this isn't just a women's sport, is that right?
No.
No.
Absolutely
anybody
not.
can paddle.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. and
Exactly.
we're almost out of time, but
Yep.
quickly I want to mention if somebody's interested in signing up, how should they do that best?
So they should go to dragonheartvermont.org to our website and click on the link for the Lake Champlain Dragonboat Festival. And then there's a whole menu on the left-hand side of that webpage that gives you more information.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Lake Champlain Dragonboat Festival happens August 3rd. Teams are still forming, and Dragonheart Vermont wants you, so you can visit, like they just said, dragonheartvermont.org for details. And that wraps up another program. My thanks to the crew behind the scenes here at WCAX. I'm Jolie Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.